Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to introduce NASCAR Next, NASCAR Home Track, and multi-time limited late model winner from Motor Mile. I kind of told him everything up until last year when you went west, so that you could kind of go ahead and have a seat with the mic.
I'm new to this, sorry.
I got him to your plane ride out west, and take us from there to today.
Yeah, so 2015 first was a really great season because it was my first full season back in racing after graduating from Stanford. So, you know, kind of this question, do I still have it? Can I still be a champ? And we won 4 out of the 8 races at Motor Mile and won the championship, being the first woman to do so, which was super exciting. And then after that, I got the opportunity to race in the K&N West Series with Bill McAnally Racing, and it was my rookie season, and, you know, got several podiums, a bunch of top 5s, and only had 1 race outside the top 10, which was really good for a rookie, and I ended up 4th in points, which was the highest finish for a female in the series' 62-year history. So with that, it was kind of this huge confidence boost and excitement with going after, you know, the higher ranks of NASCAR. And this year, I just signed with Bob Bruncotti's Sunrise Ford Racing team for my sophomore year in the K&N West Series, and we're going for the championship. You know, I'm really confident. I got all the learning curves out of the way last year, and so we're going to go try to beat the boys where I can next this 2017. The beginning of 2017, I was also honored by being selected to the Forbes 30 Under 30 list for sports, which to be on the same list with Simone Biles was pretty humbling and pretty cool. And so we're starting off strong and really trying to carry my unique brand where I can in racing and bring in some new types of partners to the sport. And that's what we're going to be working on all year.
Well, let's let them ask some questions. Deb, did you have one that you said when Julia comes? And then we'll get to the others.
Good morning, Julia. Deb Williams with ESPNW. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Nice to see you in person.
Nice to see you in person as well. When you look at what you got your degree in at Stanford, and then your time that you were on Survivor, on the TV show there, what are those 2 things that you took away from there to help you in your career? And number 2 is, how did you decide to go and major what you majored in at Stanford because of the racing career you wanted to pursue?
Right, great questions. So I majored as a Bachelor of Science in Science, Technology, and Society, so somewhat interdisciplinary. And the biggest thing that did for me was really give me some technical literacy to enhance my feedback and make it better than it already was. And so that taught me a lot. Survivor was so challenging, a much better race car driver than reality TV show contestant. But it really taught me that perseverance, and you know, you're physically at the end of what you think you're capable of. You're starving. I got super skinny, and so just was lacking energy, but you still have these challenges that you have to go win, and your team's depending on you. So to really push through everything that you can to be the best that you can be was what Survivor really helped me get better at.
Louis Frank.
Louis Frank of Reuters. How do you do? Speaking as one ex-New Yorker to another, I lived on the Upper East Side, Upper West Side. I was asking, what borough?
Manhattan, Upper West Side.
Okay.
Yeah, by Lincoln Center, yeah.
I was a little further up by Central Park, up past Columbus Circle.
Oh, cool. Yep, exactly. That's my neighborhood. There we go.
Zabar's, Fairway.
Miss it so much. Fairway's the big one, our grocery store.
Sorry. Okay, so New York City, as you know, is not a hotbed of racing. Crosstown traffic moves at 4 miles an hour. What sparked your interest in motorsports?
Yeah, so my parents actually were looking for a sport that me and my siblings could do together on the weekends, and it's me, my sister, and my brother, and they also wanted a sport that their girls could compete against boys, so there just aren't very many co-ed sports, and they liked racing. I grew up watching Formula One and sports car racing, and that got us into go-karts, and then I fell in love with it, and you know, a few years later kind of switched to more of the oval route in NASCAR. But we had to drive about 2 hours outside of the city to get to the go-kart track that I raced at, but I loved it, so we did.
Lee Spencer.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. It's good to see you since Irwindale last year. Can you kind of talk about how you progressed past that point, and what are your expectations moving forward? What do you think the next step beyond K&N Pro Series West is for you?
Yeah, definitely. So Irwindale was the start of the season in 2016, and we ran close up to the top 5, and then got 8th. And from there, I really wanted to get consistent finishes, get into the top 5, which we did a few races later, get onto the podium, which we did just a little shy of the win. But I want to win. I'm going for the championship this year. I think I can do it, and trying to move up to the trucks and the other national series as soon as we can.
Stan.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Julia, Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. Obviously, you get asked about Survivor a lot, and you have an interesting backstory with that. Do you get a sense that there's a lot of people in the garage who saw you on the show, or do they hear like, oh, you were on, but I didn't see you then? Like, how many people watched that season, do you think?
Well, regardless of how many people watched, I only got so much airtime. So, some people may have missed me if you blinked. But no, unfortunately, I didn't quite get the edit that I would have hoped for. I think I got to see some other interviews that they had, and I was so much more interesting than they portrayed me. But it was tough, and I was the youngest person there. So I think more than some people definitely saw it, but other people are like, oh, that's a pretty cool frat to be a part of, that kind of challenging thing. And, just to show that I went out there and did it, and I'm not afraid to do different things, I think is where it's really cool.
Wolfgang.
I'm here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Ranchport Press Agency. You mentioned earlier you started with karts. Over in Europe, that's a perfect place for open wheeler preparation. Did you ever test the open wheel car after karts?
I did. So I actually raced in the Skip Barber Racing Series and was their first female champion. And then I raced in Formula BMW USA. And after that season, partially because of my age and partially just because we were trying to market myself, as a racer in the U.S., we went to NASCAR. But I still love road courses. Road America is still one of my favorite tracks.
Stan.
Yeah, Stan Creekmore with Outside the Box. What was it about racing that put you in love with it?
Winning. And that's a pretty awesome feeling. But more so than that, for me, it's always been kind of putting together a puzzle. And, you have to make sure the kart's perfect. You have to make sure you're perfect and the setup is perfect and the conditions, you don't get taken out. And so this kind of part luck, part preparation puzzle that it was always really interesting to me physically and then also just from a mental standpoint.
Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Hi, Julia.
Hi.
I'm just curious, after 13 of 14 top 10 finishes with Bill McAnally Racing, you completed all but one lap. You prompted a move to Sunrise Ford Racing, which doesn't seem to have the expectations or the mindset to compete at the level that Bill McAnally does. What prompted the move?
There were a bunch of factors that prompted the move, and at the end of the day, we, at Julia Landauer Racing, we have to analyze both short-term and long-term development, and so there's, with a bunch of different factors there, we really felt like a change was needed, and, I still talk with Bill, and we ended on, perfectly good terms, but just for what I needed and what teams were willing to give, the Sunrise 4 team seemed like a really great move, and I'm super excited to go out there and work with Bill Sedgwick, and we're really going after that first win.
Next question, Tom.
Tom Baker, Race Chaser Online Performance Motorsports Network. Good to see you again, Julia.
You too.
Talk a little bit about going from racing to Survivor, back to racing, and now that ascent to and through the K&N series. What's it been like for you as far as just an adjustment from one thing to another, all while trying to focus on doing so well in school as you did as well? That's a pretty hefty schedule.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, traveling for racing when I was younger and in middle school kind of set the stage for me being able to be really disciplined in what I was doing when I was doing it and really compartmentalize. And, I like being active. I like being busy. And so it's a lifestyle that really suits my personality. And, life's short and there's a lot that I want to get done. So all the work and the busyness and moving around is part of the job.
Last question.
Hi. Kelly Morrison, NASCAR Preview and Press Guide. With all your success last year, being honored with the 2016 Driver Achievement Award, being named the series top breakthrough driver, and being featured in Forbes 30 Under 30, how do you plan on changing the game in this upcoming season?
First and foremost, winning. That's what I plan on doing. But really, I think showcasing all of the other aspects of building a racing career that go into racing and really showing the off-track stuff and the fan stuff. And just, elevating myself. I have high expectations for myself, and my team has high expectations for me, both from a Julia Landauer Racing and from a Sunrise Ford perspective. And we just want to show that I can do it too, that women can do it too, and that the unexpected participant can really exceed and excel with a lot of hard work and luck and collaboration.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning. Julia
Thank you, guys.
Landauer.